Hello and welcome to the ScreenBlast podcast with your favorite fearless hero, K9 Biscuit. And we're joined here today with
Brian from Brian the Baltimorean.
Blackjack.
From
Anthemocracy. Yeah! Nice! Alright.
We finally all have places that we come from. This is great. This is great. Alright, Puss in Boots 2.
I never do this, but can I get your autograph? Been following you for a long time. Sign right there.
Puss in Boots laps in the face of death. Bounty hunter.
Damn good movie. Damn good movie. Holy shit. This was, as I was saying on our way back, you know, I saw this twice. Second time with you. Terrible theater experience, but great movie. But this was classic DreamWorks. This is what the entire studio seems to have been built upon in terms of its writing concepts, its style. It feels like just back to the past. This is great. Okay,
so this is where we might differ, because this is a super damn good movie. Yeah, I'm like, no, this is a fucking good. This is a fun time. This is it's probably my favorite animated movie theatrically this year.
Fair.
Like, out of everything I've seen theatrically this year, which isn't much, there was like fucking Strange World, Lightyear. I can't remember anything else. Did the Bad Guys come out this year?
Yes, Bad Guys came out in the beginning.
And that was also DreamWorks.
And that was also DreamWorks.
I mean, I guess DreamWorks killed it this year in the theater set.
That's what you can, before we go deeper into the movie itself, everything about this movie, it's like, you know, Bad Guys was a great comeback for DreamWorks as a whole, but then you look at just the fact that we have this character from the past finally getting a sequel theatrical movie, the quality of it, the quality of the writing, the adventure itself. This is the issue with Disney, where they have just made movies that aren't about really like fun adventure and having real humor, and everything just feels like sterile. If it's comedy, it's Marvel comedy sprinkled in. I remember with Frozen 2, I'm like, something's missing here. I remember with something like Turning Red, it's like, that was fine. Going and seeing like Strange World, it's like, that was fine. But this, it's like, there's spectacle, there's great action, they know how to use the angles with the CGI, they really put care and passion into this movie. This is an experience.
You, lunch me! And the rest of you, play double time.
To get out with Disney's theatrical sequels, it's like either hit or miss. Like even with Pixar too. Yeah. I guess with some of the exception of the Toy Story movies. But like the we got like Frozen 2, which like just played it safe. Yeah. Same thing with Wreck-It Ralph 2, it just played it safe.
Right.
Just like shove IPs in your face. Frozen 2 was just like
Frozen 2 had time to get written, and that was the disappointing thing. Is they had time.
It was the plot, the writing. The plot was like less mature than the first one.
The plot was just poorly stitched together. And as beautiful as that movie is, it's obviously dated quickly, because you see everything they've done with the fur in this movie, and you see how the expressions in these characters. As much as we saw Turning Red, this makes Turning Red look elementary. Because I remember the exciting thing was, look how graphically impressive the red panda looks. It's like, yeah, that looks great, but what are you doing with it? You're seeing Puss in Boots doing flips and spins, and the camera's working like right next to his fur, and you're getting real expression and emotion out of his face. That's genuine quality.
Oh yeah, as again with DreamWorks, they're trying something new, because what was your opinions on the first Puss in Boots? You two, we haven't talked about it, but we established you already exist in this podcast.
Absolutely.
So we'll start with Daryl first.
Yeah, have you seen the first Puss in Boots?
You say you did.
A little bit, but
years ago.
It's been a long time ago.
What was your initial impression from what you remember? Did you think it was just okay?
It was okay. Good art style a little bit. The story was okay.
Alright, so what do you think?
It's what you expect of a DreamWorks movie.
That's what I was gonna say is, so the difference between Puss in Boots now versus Puss in Boots when it came out in 2010 is that was deep in the era when DreamWorks was just trying to throw anything at the wall and make it stick. You had you had Shrek going on and on and on. You had Madagascar in the heat of its like franchise. You had Kung Fu Panda, like Kung Fu Panda 1 came out, we were waiting for Kung Fu Panda 2, and then you had, then you had Puss in Boots come out, and it's like, oh, can the spin-off to the Shrek property work? And it was a cool idea because it extended on that concept with Shrek, which is we'll take folklore stories like what is it, the egg, what the f is his name?
Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty.
You forgot the nursery rhyme?
I was talking to Maj about it yesterday, and for some reason I couldn't recall it just now. And I love what they did with Humpty Dumpty, though it was a simple villain, and it was fine, and I like what they did with Soft Paws, but it was a solid movie, and I always enjoyed it, and I like rewatching it, but it's not something that I go after to watch so often, which is why I've always been excited for a sequel.
It was a fun spin-off. Like it took me a couple years after it released to finally watch it, because I remember when it was first coming out and saw the trailers for it, and this doesn't really look that much inspired. It just looks like it looks like a spin-off of Shrek. It looks like lesser than Shrek. And seeing the movie, it's actually a fun, solid movie. But I still watch Shrek 2 and 4 over it. I watched the first Puss in Boots over Shrek 1 and 3 usually, though.
Yes. No, Puss in Boots was not better than Shrek. It just was a solid spin-off. And remember, it was also coming out at a time where there was a massive internet craze about cats. And so it was like this major sort of... It was a perfect time culturally to focus on a character that you had a spin-off character that is a cat that's doing a lot of fun, goofy things, while the internet era was still obsessing with about a bunch of cat culture.
I'm surprised, they DreamWorks just put Puss in Boots in the movies of his own instead of pairing him from somebody with a different Shrek character, because Puss in Boots only came in the second movie.
Yeah.
But he was a beloved side comic relief.
Absolutely.
That was another thing surprising about the second movie. They just added another comic relief
on top of Donkey.
But they made it work.
But it worked. Yes,
they were foils to each other, which was that was a fun dynamic. I'm surprised this wasn't a Donkey and Puss movie.
Right. You're talking about the first.
Yeah, the first one. They could have easily made it that.
Yes.
Or they could have made a Donkey movie. I think he was still the most memorable.
Yeah. Well, of course, that's why they put Donkey in the new title card for DreamWorks. Because it's Shrek and Donkey still. Eddie Murphy's Donkey still sells tickets significantly. But yeah, no, I think the first Puss in Boots was just in a place in time where it could be forgotten too. This stands out more because DreamWorks is not where it was. Between then and now, you've had DreamWorks go through bankruptcy, getting sold off to Comcast, desperately trying things with shit like Home and Trolls and Boss Baby, and losing its identity a bit.
I forgot about Home. I wish I still forgot about Home. Why'd you remind me?
Because that's that's the weird era that we went through with DreamWorks, where it's it was. To me, DreamWorks is a company that was always around as a kid. It's like a
I just
rival.
Peabody
and Sherman.
It was also experimental, but I enjoyed that one.
Absolutely, yeah. But DreamWorks was a company that was always around as when I was a kid, to compete against Disney for that CGI animation, and they did a really good job going toe-to-toe with Disney. They would make as much money, if not more. Shrek was the most financially successful franchise for years until Illumination came around with Despicable Me. But that was the rival for years, but they just couldn't hold up because they were throwing too much shit.
Yeah, that was Jeffrey Katzenberg trying to get back at them.
Right, but there was too much shit going on that Turbo didn't work, right, and Rise of the Guardians didn't work.
Oh, you were mimicking so much shit that I forgot DreamWorks did.
Yeah, they just.
Remember their whole backlog? Did you look up their backlog before you got here?
I looked it up and I lived it, so
Yeah. Because I did not watch Turbo or Rise of the Guardians.
Yeah, but. That's why, coming back now to Puss in Boots 2, it's Puss in Boots 2 was supposed to come out in 2014. That's how long ago that was supposed to come out.
It really, yeah, damn.
And so here we are in 2022. And so number one, it's awesome that we still have Antonio Banderas doing the voice because he's kick-ass. We still have most of the voice cast that was there from the first movie. But, let's talk about just Puss in Boots 2. What do we first off? What do you think of the new DreamWorks title?
Well, going back before, I'm glad it did take them this long because now they have more inspiration to go after.
It's not Puss in Boots 2 likely would have been a cash-in if it came out in 2014. Yeah. Because that DreamWorks is completely different. And this one is trying to find relevance where Illumination, remember, I think, what was it, last year or a couple of years ago, DreamWorks was on the back burner doing all the TV projects. All the Netflix and Peacock shit. And Illumination was the moneymaker theatrically because Minions, Despicable, and all that. And now that you're starting to see this, it's like now we finally are getting what was Comcast's original vision, which is you have DreamWorks doing these movies, which are like Pixar quality at this point. Yeah, they are the Pixar to Illumination's
anti-Pixar on it,
right? But if you know what I mean, where it's like Disney Animation and Pixar, Universal has, Disney Animation and Pixar, which is usually thought of as the higher quality, DreamWorks Animation, and then Illumination, which is thought of as slightly lower quality.
They still want things that make money, so Comcast is like, throw out another Boss Baby out there.
Yep.
What, Netflix got another slot? Put a Christmas special on there. What? Netflix got another slot? Put a second Boss Baby show on there.
Yep.
They already have enough.
They do.
Not enough. No, you can never have enough money. Nope.
No, that's
waiting for the wait, wasn't there Boss Baby 3 already announced?
Yes. But look, that is the only because it made a lot of money. Remember, Boss Baby 2 I think was it Trolls? No, Trolls failed, right? Trolls was the one that failed through streaming.
No. Trolls 2 was successful.
Which is why we're getting a Trolls 3. Yeah, but this is the only thing about DreamWorks is this has been their best year this is probably their best year in over a decade. Probably their best year in over a decade. I think 2014 they had How to Train Your Dragon 2 and Penguins of Madagascar, which that's a solid 1-2. But Bad Guys and this has been a really fun year.
Yes. Boss Baby 2 come out this year?
No.
Okay.
I think it was 2020.
Oh yeah, it was like that was
very early.
We had a podcast. That was one of our first podcasts, actually.
Yes.
That was a hit on SoundCloud. We can't post on SoundCloud anymore because they have a fucking.
They have a limit. Yeah. That was so stupid.
We were actually getting a fucking audience on there.
Yeah.
People were commenting and shit. No, it was nice. It was good while it lasted.
Very limited. Fuck them.
But new DreamWorks logo.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I like the first thing the show is the new guys, the bad guys. It's
so interesting that they're the ones that start it because it's more like a legacy thing, right? It's like you leave Shrek to be the last because not that was the first movie, but that was the first CG.
That was the first major hit.
You don't count Ants.
That was the first major hit.
Exactly.
It would have been nice to see they could have redone their 2D stuff just in 3D. Just have you see 3D models, oh shit, 3D models of the Road to El Dorado characters.
No, you don't want to see what's her name in 3D.
Chell.
No, everyone's gonna melt.
Dude, that's how they sell it. You gotta sell it.
Oh, here comes a new point.
She's
that's right.
Skimpy lady wearing a fucking diaper, pretty much.
Yeah, but new Rule 34. Here we go.
Wait, new? What do you mean new?
Oh, God.
Yeah, but no, you're right. Because what I just want to recall, we saw Bad Guys. Obviously, I love how close. So again, this really works for 3D as well because I love how close. What is it? Night Fury flies in because the tail feels like it's about to smack you.
Yes.
With your 3D glasses.
It's like a 3D. It's like a 3D ride at an amusement park.
Yeah, but that entire journey again. The key here is I'm just glad that the kid that's doing the fishing is no longer alone. That's also a cool vibe where it's for years he sits there, that's it.
And he would get so depressed that sometimes he would quit his job and other people take over.
And someone else the frog,
the Boss Baby.
The Boss Baby would do it. Some other But that's the key here is, you know, the mascot can finally interact with the franchises.
He learned how to drive.
He learned how to drive the moon.
Yeah, he lost
the sun. And
the moon had car keys the whole time. He lost them, and he was like, "Oh fuck! There's the moon car keys. I can actually drive this bitch." Like, hey everybody, I'm your god.
Why have I been just going up this entire time, doing this for 27 years? Like, but yeah, like it's cool. It's
or let Dare DreamWorks make me some friends, man.
I will say it's better than this fucking Illumination shit where they just do minions.
Illumination.
I will say there's a little bit of magic in that. Like I'll take it.
It was no, I don't know, for some reason it probably wasn't funny, like objectively funny, but like I love the little minions too. Like little intro. It was like, illumination! There's a big fucking disco ball flying. Yeah. And like, I did not know you can spell out minions through illumination. So it's like, yes. Illumination! Minions!
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
That was nice.
They made it work.
Like, I have not watched Minions 1, but like, Minions 2 was a good time.
Minions 2 was solid. Was that this year?
Yeah, it was this year.
And it's not going to be in our top 10. I'm telling you that. Yeah.
Nah, that's my number one. Okay, I'm gonna spoil it. Minions 2 is number 1 right now.
Ass.
No.
Number 2 is ass. There you go.
Number 2
is I saw a movie called Ass, and it was just naked buttocks for 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Mark, that's your Pornhub stream. This is the ScreenBlast podcast. Do not share both. All right. Anyway, let's get back.
Make the porn section.
Oh god.
ScreenBlast.
Screen porn.
Screens blasting. Or some shit like that. I don't know. That was bad. Don't laugh.
Let them come.
There we go.
No, Daryl. When the trailer came out for Transformers 4, Daryl heard me laugh. He was like, "Oh god."
Because I knew it was coming.
Dude,
Let them come.
But it's just the stupid tagline the monkey Transformer says, where he's like, you know, Optimus, you haven't seen nothing in your past or future is as big as this. It's like, well, you know, in the next movie, bigger fucking thing, right? So whatever, like bullshit.
Optimus Prime, you dumbass! I'm a fucking monkey. There's a bigger threat out there.
Like,
kill him. And it's just like
I explained.
That's a scene from the movie, and it's just like
you did.
I explained.
And my brain does not remember.
No. That's actually a scene from the movie. And then, like, after Optimus Prime says that, there's like a moment of silence, and the monkey's just like, "Oh fuck, shit, fuck, you're right, damn." Just like, fucking what?
All right, you did explain this in the last podcast.
Yeah,
because it's the
how old they are. They were
there before there were machines.
Yeah, they were there before humans were even a fucking thing.
But then how are they still mechanized if they...
Watch the shitty old CG cartoon from the 90s. How did they
even transform into literal living beings? And not machinery? But see how serious I'm taking this? This is so bullshit. I can't take this. There's a point where if it comes down from space and it turns into a truck, that doesn't make sense already. I don't know why I'm trying to go any further than that.
They have their own time.
Honestly, made up their own time. Honestly, that was my favorite. Right. Honestly, that was my favorite scene in the movie Puss in Boots 2 that we're talking about.
Exactly.
Oh, cool! Another member of the team. We are not a team.
Ice on the road.
Who is this guy? I'm Puss's best friend.
No, he isn't.
And his therapy dog.
Definitely not.
Finally, you need therapy.
And we're gonna have to pull this entire fragment about Transformers and just zip it out.
I already segmented our way. We can just keep it in if you want.
It is what it is.
We segue a couple times in our other podcast. Anyway.
Let's talk about the big movie that we saw, 80 for Brady. That shit looks so awful.
Yeah,
oh my god.
We should probably have it. We should have had a trailer section. Anyway, back to Puss in Boots. But like,
yes.
I guess
we're done. We wrapped up we wrapped up the title sequence.
Yes.
So I'll say that the first sort of action sequence we get, and it runs for about 10 minutes. It really shows off the quality of, again, how far DreamWorks has come. You know, just, again, like, you get a lot of awesome angles in that fight. Whether it's the sword fight with the humans or when it grows into becoming this fight with this large creature, like, holding a church bell. It's like, that is that is an epic fight that usually would be an end sequence, but we have
Yes.
something even better at the end.
Oh, yes.
But the beginning sequence in itself was already fun action. That was a good time. That was like, oh shit, I'm in. All right. And the song.
I love how we're getting the opposite of Avatar, where it's like, when there's action bits, the frame rate gets higher. But like in Puss in Boots, when there's action bits, the frame rate gets lower.
Facts.
People, all the characters start like cutting
Slowing down and shit.
Yeah, they start cutting frames like when you're fucking playing a game and just the system can't handle the graphics.
Yeah.
It's like characters
will
are
say,
starting
but
to
it looks good.
It looks good.
Right.
Like it's weird, but like you get used to it.
Yeah.
It's not like they don't handle like They don't handle it as flawlessly as Spider-Verse does.
No.
But what they do here, you get used to it. And like going back to this is like the art style. They definitely got inspired by Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like and also Bad Guys was the first stepping stone.
Definitely.
And like this was like a great like touch up, and it's like I like this art style they're going with, and it gives it its own identity separate from the Shrek universe, because the
I think this is the evolved Shrek universe we're going to get now.
I hope it
this
is
what they're going with.
I don't
because
like.
This is. I mean, we already, you see at the end, and again, spoilers, everyone. But, you see what you see at the end, and we'll talk about what we think that means. But
I wonder, because, like, I know, I don't... Oh, well, we'll go... I guess we'll talk about that, then. Can you continue?
It just feels like, yes, this is a variant of the Shrek universe, potentially, but this also is so closely tied to Shrek, the same way Puss in Boots was originally tied to Shrek, that I feel like they're just going to carry this through, and that's going to be the visual language. Now, Shrek may go, like, less than what we get with the frame rate adjustment, and that might just be a Puss in Boots thing, but the way in which it looks, the quality, obviously.
I'm fine with, like, Shrek being, like, an evolved art style of, like, what it originally was.
Yeah.
Realistic and such. And, like, I like that this movie has its own identity separate from Shrek, and that's what it's, like, this kind of art style is what the first movie needed, honestly. Because, like, again, like I said, the first movie was just okay. It just felt like, it felt like a cash-in spin-off.
Using assets that you've already had.
Yeah.
It's like, we might as well keep using these from a universe.
Yeah, it doesn't have much of its own identity.
Yeah.
It's just, like, Shrek minus some.
But then you see the human characters in this movie, like, you see, the cat lady, and it's like, oh.
Kitty Softpaws.
No, the cat lady.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, oh, like, that's a visual look you would not have gotten from any Shrek movie or the previous Puss in Boots. That is something that you maybe wouldn't have seen even in Bad Guys, because, again, the art style here is it's just a bit. It's like you turn it a little bit. Just a little bit. You turn the gauge a little bit. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you get, like, you have... What is it? I'm trying to go through all the, like, a couple different characters, of course, but again, that first visual sequence, or that first sequence where we're coming in, we're learning where Puss is, what's the situation, and he just dies.
It's weird that we don't have much context why he's an outlaw, because, like, he saved the village in the last movie.
Well, he's an outlaw because he's raiding someone else's house, right? And that's what he does. Is he's almost like a Robin Hood.
I get. Well, we saw that he was already an outlaw in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
because he showed the poster.
Right.
So I mean, that was before. I mean, I guess like he does that to everyone.
That's what he does. Yeah.
Well, we do see his life. He is like a mischievous misadventurer.
Right.
Like,
oh yeah. So, yeah, you get that in the opening. He dies, and again, you get, like, there's just so many funny moments, like, in that fight with the giant creature. Hey, you want to see something cool? And it's just... oh
my god, it's so fast-paced,
yeah,
it's so fun.
fast-paced, so fun, yeah.
It reminds me, there was, like, another movie that was fast-paced like that. Fuck, I can't remember at the moment. I think that was, like, I think it does, like, Spider-Verse, honestly. Like, it was also that fast.
It feels different,
it feels
in a way. Because,
there was some other movie that was fast-paced, too.
You're talking animated?
Yeah. And it's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't fucking remember. I think it's probably a movie from Sony. Well, we'll keep going. I'll try to remember.
Cool.
You had to describe the characters.
Shut the fuck up. I can't remember anything. Just keep going. Just keep going while I think.
Hola, amigos. Look at your cat. Now back to me. Now back to your cat. Now back to me. Sadly, your cat is not me. But if he got off the catnip and got himself a cape and some boots, he could act like me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You are in an adventure. 9 lifetimes in the making. With a cat, your cat could act like. What is in your paw? Holy frijoles. It is golden eggs. Does your cat have golden eggs? I didn't think so. I'm on a horse.
You left me hanging on like, well, I'm thinking of a movie. Like I'm thinking of a movie that happened between 1942 and 2022. And
Basically,
but anyway, let's. I love the fairy tale world we get in this movie. The version of the fairy tale world. 'Cause this is a step up from Shrek, and it's like the thing about this movie. It's like we're gonna get to it at the end. It's like more connected to Shrek universe, but like it feels like an much different from the Shrek universe. Like these kind of incarnations of these fairy tale characters, it's like something you'd see out of like some kind of anime or something. It's very anime inspired.
They're much further developed. Like we get Goldilocks and the Three Bears, right? And that sort of thing would have been, if they did that visual gag back when the first Shrek came out, obviously they would have been one of the many that were sort of being banded up by Farquaad, right?
Yeah.
That's where they would have come in. But what we get is a much more, I would say, strongly developed Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Okay, wait, sorry, I just want to interrupt your thought. Okay, I was thinking of Mitchell's...
fucking pointless this was?
Mitchell's versus...
Fucking fuck you, Mark.
I was saying of Mitchell's versus the Machines, alright?
No one gives a Connected?
That's not its name anymore. You know that.
Whatever. No, go on with whatever the fuck you were saying originally.
The art style. The art style is
completely detached. Continue to the art style. Please.
Yes, the art style is. I'm not getting underappreciated. I'm the one adding everything to the podcast, and you're just like.
I'm just swimming in it. Yeah,
you're swimming in it. Like you're fired, and you're fired. This is my show now.
What a fucking what an absolute shit show.
But they're just like, it reminds me of Mitchell vs. Machines, like the way it's fast paced and the action.
Yeah.
All right, you can go ahead.
Much better movie, but yeah.
Which one?
Mitchell's, obviously. No, come on.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, what? Wait, what's going on?
No, but again, like you, there's just so much you can visually eat. And again, I keep talking about the opening cutscene just because it's like, again, you bring everyone in with this opening song, Fearless Hero.
Oh my god, it's a banger.
And it's fun, and at first I'm like, I don't want to hear him sing, I don't give a fuck, but by like 30 seconds in, I'm in. And, then you have the sword fighting, and again, it grows and grows and grows, and it's a big fight. He dies, and... again, like I was going on before, you get a lot of great comedy moments where, the 8 previous deaths, we've seen the trailer, a lot of you have seen the trailer, you get a brief version of that, but I like how they extended a little bit more, so you get a little bit more resonance as to what happens for his idiocy to get to that point of him dying, obviously funniest one, I don't know what was the funniest one to you guys, but there was the one where, he's like, falling from the tallest building in wherever land.
I can land on all fours.
I can always land, right.
Cats always land on their feet!
Yeah.
My favorite one is just like, he's just at a restaurant. This has shellfish. Honestly, I like the trailer cut better because it just like abruptly cuts more.
It does. It cuts better, yeah.
Yeah, because like, it just have shellfish. He just dies.
Might as well be him getting shot out of a cannon. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's like, this will revolutionize air travel. Yeah, that was good. That was stupid.
What the hell made you think you could do that?
Stupid confidence. And what, we get, again, what I would say is very high quality expressions that are realistic, but also, like, maximize what they've done. Where you have the doctor looking at Puss in boots, and, but he has this expression that's like an actual cat. You know what I mean? Like, he grabs him in a moment, looks like an actual cat, goes back, like, lets him go, goes back to the face that we normally see. Does something else, looks like a cat, stops looking like a cat. It's like, in random moments, you get these expressions that are like, this is like kind of cool. This is kind of funny. I like how they work that dynamic in.
Oh, yeah. Like, every character in this movie is so enjoyable.
Yes.
And, like the character we get, like, the big bad wolf, he's the most, like, threatening character I've ever seen in a DreamWorks movie.
I just love the smell of fear.
Pick it up. Pick it up.
Oh yeah.
Like I would like
Basic representation of death itself. Goddamn.
So I will counter that because I would be lying to agree if I didn't say Eris from Sinbad was not more terrifying.
And you are?
Eris, the goddess of discord. No doubt you've seen my likeness on the temple walls.
You know, they don't do you justice.
But neither of you have probably seen Sinbad.
I've seen Road to El. I think that's the only 2D movie I've seen was Road.
Probably been years.
Yeah, but that's
Was Road to El Dorado.
it was not Road to El Dorado. It's Sinbad.
I know that's the only 2D movie I've seen.
Oh, that's the only two. You haven't seen Prince of Egypt?
No.
What kind of fuck? Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's something wrong with
You're missing out, man. That's like the best.
You haven't seen Glass Onion, bitch? Let's talk about Glass. Then you want to do that Glass Onion party thing, motherfucker? You haven't seen that?
That shit.
Talk of the
town. Seriously, that even a fucking thing?
Oh
yes, it is. Everyone's talking about Glass Onion. Glass Onion.
My God.
Who the fuck is talking about that shit?
Everyone is. You are not in the zeitgeist. Huh?
No, the fuck they not.
It's #1 on fucking Netflix, bitch.
I saw it on my AOL server.
I haven't seen shit about it.
Because you're not looking.
Many people ain't talking about it.
Either way, in terms of villainy,
Brian! Damn, I have to tell him how full shit he is. Bitch hasn't watched Pinocchio either.
you haven't seen Pinocchio yet?
I don't give a fuck.
Everyone's talking about it. Fuck you. You haven't seen Pinocchio.
You haven't even seen the Disney one?
I seen the old Pinocchio, yeah.
No, I'm talking about the remake. Everyone loves it.
I don't believe you.
Oh no.
I don't believe you.
Something fishy going on here.
but no, the villain of Puss in Boots 2 is the literal representation of death, and what they do with death here. I didn't realize it was death in the beginning. Like the first scene, I thought it was
a bounty hunter.
A bounty hunter, which is what Puss in Boots thinks he is.
Yep.
And what I love about him is like, holy shit, you really feel for his life in that first scene and in many moments throughout. Now, I will say toward the end, as you get closer and closer to learning that he's death, it's like, I don't know if he's really gonna kill him or not, because you start to see where the movie's going. But especially in the beginning, like it's like, ooh, these sequences where he's really slicing and dicing, you get real like blood. That's
what I assume is like, because I remember seeing the trailer. It was like Goldilocks and the wolves after him. So it's like, all right, so he just has a series of bounty hunters after him. He's one of these bounty hunters. He's gonna get rid of. And it's like, no, like you feel like how like the atmosphere and like how he's struggling.
Yeah.
And it's like it's like nothing he's faced before. It's like this guy feels undefeatable to him, and it's like. And it becomes like a horror movie villain in a way. He's just like creeping up on him every time, and he just like does a slow whistle. He's just like teasing him.
Yep.
He's like he's giving him back his sword, like pick it up. I just love that moment.
That was great.
And don't
life flashing before your eyes.
He's so great. Like again, these incarnations of like these fairy tales, especially we're gonna get to Goldilocks and Three Bears.
Yeah.
That was creative what they did with them.
Yes.
It was like she's like with the three bears, and I thought the funny reveal is that they're actually like talking and anthropomorphic. I thought they were just bears at first.
Yeah, that's understandable.
It was a funny reveal how they did it.
That it's finally like these are casual. They're actually fully
anthropomorphic,
which leads you to a lot better dialogue. You get really good dialogue throughout this movie with them. Like, just funny character dialogue, very, very good comedy between all four. The mom bear kind of doesn't get a lot of that comedy, but, you get the brother-sister relationship there, really funny. The dad bear is just stupidly unaware at times. Like, it's
the orphan and the adopted family.
And there's, like, we got a great villain. I love Jack Homer. What was his name?
And my thumb pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I."
Look, a magic puppet.
'Cause I'm a real boy, no strings attached. Thank you. What's impressive? I've been a boy the whole time.
But like, I just love seeing his facial expressions are hilarious. I just love seeing him talk.
Yeah.
Like the actor John Mulaney does a fantastic job voicing
Big
him.
Mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the every time that villain is on screen, like it is just a fun moment. It's
Absolutely.
just a fun moment, and they just throw in enough extra character to put the cherry on top, like the
cricket.
The cricket.
The cricket's great.
The cricket's great, and it's just like the back and forth is just great. It's like it's not annoying at all, and it just adds to like the fantastic dialogue and writing of this movie.
Yes, indeed. No, it you know, that back and forth where the cricket's like, you know, he's trying to realize, oh, he's like, the cogs are turning. Oh, there's no saving this guy.
Not at all.
Oh, he's absolutely fucking mad. He doesn't. I don't think you value the human life.
Notice that now.
As he was walking across a canyon on the backs
human brain
of his slaves.
That was great.
Trying to bring a whole big ass cat.
Dude, I love the reveal of the baker's dozen.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
Like, this whole movie is fantastic. Like, and Perro, I thought he would be like just an annoying cutesy character, but like, he's the heart of the movie.
You're a talking cat? I'm a talking cat. Let's talk.
I'd rather eat.
Oh, not a problem. We can eat and talk at the same time.
No hablo inglés.
¿Hablas español? Yo también. Oh, ¿de dónde eres? ¿Te gustan las siestas?
I don't speak Spanish either.
You're funny.
Okay, good talk.
Oh, hang on. Pickles? Is that your name? I'm no expert, but you don't look like a Pickles.
Well, you don't look like a cat.
He's a good character. Like, he's not like
I feel
the funny character, but like he's a
part of the.
Yeah.
If you're thinking of the part of the heart, I think another part of the heart. There's two pieces, which is I think the relationship between Softpaws and Puss, as well. I think seeing that dynamic back again. Again, this is the type of thing where like Disney does not. We're at a point in time where it's like no one wants to do the relationship thing anymore. It's like, oh, we can have platonic friends. It's like, it's kind of nice to finally have a movie that can just do that again. When you look at Disney animated movies, especially, is you lose real character personality when you sort of act like any of these characters aren't going to, they don't go further, they're just kind of there, they're interlocked, but nothing happens. Like, even in Frozen 2, which you can sort of compare, it's like, there's not, between all of the characters, like, nothing really happens, and there's no real development. Like, some people were theorizing that there was, like, a gay relationship between Elsa and that one, like, that native group. There was a girl there that also controlled something, but they didn't, there was nothing. They have no guts to pull anything relationship-wise in any situation.
Yeah, that movie
so there's no, but the key factor is relationships are natural to characters.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And so what I loved about Puss in Boots 2 is like you get back to seeing them and it's just a bond and two characters that are like acting as if they are right back in it again and they're just going back and forth and it's cool. It's like, oh, okay, you know, I haven't seen this in a while in a movie. The same way that, like, it was cool to see in Bad Guys. It's like, these guys are just hitting it off, getting comfortable with each other, as it would happen. Like, I don't know. Like, to me, that's a rarity in other animated features. It looks like Spider-Verse is going to do the same thing, which
it's starting to happen more commonly in animated movies now, so.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm saying it happened all the time in animated movies, and then it dropped off in, like, the mid-2010s, because it became this platonic thing, or we didn't want to show it, and then now it's finally coming back again. That's what I'm saying. But, you know, enough of my soapbox.
Give me the map. Trust me.
Trust you? Like I did in Santa Coloma?
Really? Santa Coloma?
Si, Santa Coloma!
Soft Paws, again, like I said, heart of the movie, another piece of the heart of the movie. You were talking about the dog character, which, again, you think upon first impression is going to be annoying, but is a critical piece on the journey. And it makes it all the more better because he's just a goofball, a lovable goofball that is so anti Puss in Boots and Soft Paws personality.
Oh, yeah.
You brought a lonely man out. You brought Puss in Boots out of his loneliness, and you actually made Soft Paws actually trusting somebody. That's what he was there for.
Right. And
it's fun to see. It was also fun to see like Soft Paws get Pero like actually get like under Soft Paws' good side because Soft Paws was not trusting anybody.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He was the light to their darkness.
Indeed. Yeah, and sometimes you need someone to pop in like that. But, I love going back to the story and the journey, like, of course, they get this map. Everyone's on the chase for the map. And, they go into this portal area, the forest or whatever. And I love the fact that it's literally visually changing upon whoever gets it. And the journey does adjust. So it's not just that everyone's going through the same forest and it's going to be the same consistent force. It is a different setting dependent on who controls it up until when you get close enough to the star area that it doesn't really matter. But you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Whoever has a map is their personality mapped out on the whole thing.
Right.
This whole movie is beautiful, but you want to get to the ending?
What?
Sure.
Are you okay? You just went from
He wants to end this podcast.
He does. Yeah.
I don't. I forgot. I think I talked about everything I want to talk about.
Death.
I don't. We talk about death.
I know.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to think like what else I need. I think I got through everything.
So again. Only other things that I found great, since you don't have anything else to talk about.
Can you pass it off to me? So I was like, again, I can't think of anything else.
One of the villains has an issue with Jack or whatever. Has an issue with Pinocchio. I love the visual. I love the drop-ins again.
Okay, I was gonna go to the
By the way, I forgot. My favorite actual Puss in Boots death scene that we see is of the gingerbread man, like,
cameo.
What are you doing? And he's like, I am a great baker, and he just fucking burns himself to death. Like, all right, like again, just little cameos here and there. Like you're part of the universe, but it's just right outside. You get a little couple references, and that's it, and that's cool, But that moves into the last part of the movie, which is where we see Puss and the team or the trio, I should say now, going to Far, Far Away, and so obviously that will lead into the eventual Shrek 5 that we are going to get. This clearly is not going to be a remake. This is going to be a full-on continue the plot, because obviously they wouldn't just make a remake if you're going to...
It seems like they're heading that direction, because the Puss in Boots 1 is very disconnected from like everything else. It could Shrek cannot exist and it can just stand alone on its own thing. But this movie, it is celebrating that the actual history of everything else Puss in Boots was involved in, and it's actually making the Shrek movies canon. Like when I first saw the Gingerbread Man, they exist. Oh shit, they exist. It's just not some weird universe where Puss in Boots is on his own. Right. They actually had flashbacks of him and Donkey.
Yep.
And it's that's canon to him. I know this slips on the timeline, because the thing about Puss in Boots is I guess I was wondering if this takes place either before or after Shrek. There's probably a line I missed in the first one that kind of references a little bit.
That takes place. I don't know. I can't tell.
I'm pretty sure it takes place after Shrek at this point.
Yeah, I would believe so.
More than likely,
because that was after the fourth Shrek movie anyway.
Yeah,
and I think the idea was people were getting tired of Shrek, but they wanted to experiment with Puss in Boots anyway. And so that's why it was pushed away from the universe overall.
Again, this is the most connected it's ever been to everything else.
Yeah.
Even the first movie, I thought it was just going to stand on its own thing, period. The first movie just disconnect from everything. But, and we got to the ending where it's they go to far, far away, and so I'm curious. Like, I don't know how they're gonna make a sequel because like it seems like Eddie Murphy and Mike Myers, wouldn't it be hard to get nowadays? Mainly Eddie Murphy. I'm not sure if he's still in. He came back and he was gone. He came back. I'm not sure if he's still in.
I don't know if you know this, but yeah, the Eddie Murphy and Mike Myers. The only thing is Mike Myers is getting very old. Eddie Murphy not as old, but they're both older. And I think we're at a point where I just don't believe. It depends. We have Chris Pratt as Mario. But if anything were to happen between now and whenever this... Shrek. But that's what I'm saying. Is I don't know if people are comfortable with Shrek changing voices. I don't know if it matters or not. But if you are going to do it right now. As in, if you're going to recast, don't wait until Eddie Murphy and Mike Myers are super old and can't do it. Just do it in this iteration. The only problem is Eddie Murphy's comedy stylings are way too important to just start with someone random.
I guess we're in a different world because Mike Myers is what sold that movie in the beginning, but now the Shrek IP is like for kids. I guess it would be like it's like bigger than Mike Myers in terms of the movies.
Yeah. No, Mike Myers is almost... Not that he's irrelevant. People know who Mike Myers is, but not a lot of people in the 21st century.
Not kids.
Right. And probably not many people 20 and under know who Mike Myers is.
Well, even like back in the old days, kids were exposed to like Austin Powers too, even though it was an adult movie.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't know that it was Mike Myers at all. I just thought of him as Shrek.
That's what. Well, okay. I'm just making assumptions. That's what I assumed. Cause I haven't watched the Austin Powers movies yet.
Right.
But like kids are not like weren't into. Yeah, the kids just like knew of Mike Myers, and that's what that brand sold.
That's
Shrek.
Right. That's right. So, now we're at a point where do you start over? And maybe, but I would have to hear like several other voice options. I'm up for hearing Eddie Murphy play the role again. Because Eddie Murphy seems to, and we've seen that, I don't know if you guys watch Coming to America too, but he still has that comedic beat.
Well, also, Mike Myers can still do the Shrek voice because Shrek made a cameo in his fucking Netflix show. I don't know, I forgot what it's called, I never watched it, but like I saw a clip of like a guy in a Shrek costume shows up and he does the voice.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Shrek, he's doing Shrek again. I guess that was like a little sneak peek.
Yeah, I know, again, at some point though, like, let me see, how old are they? Like, they are, like...
It's got this part where we're looking up.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. Mike Myers is only 60. He could technically probably do this for another 2030, right? Basically, you could have him there for quite a bit longer. Eddie Murphy is 61, so Eddie Murphy's actually older than Mike Myers. Eddie Murphy is 61. So you could still have those two around for quite a bit longer.
Okay, yeah.
Because I don't think their voice will be so hoarse that they can't do it. Yeah, but
this has been K9 Biscuits, Anthropocracy, and Blackjack. Logging out, everybody.